Welcome to Power Up Your House with Feng Shui. An integral part of taking the crucial step towards approaching a Feng Shui consultant is by knowing what to do first. Hence, in this video, I want to focus on a very practical issue when it comes to engaging the services of a Feng Shui consultant, which is, what should you ask them? In fact, asking questions is a very important part of the process when it comes to selecting a Feng Shui consultant. Due to the reputation the profession has, Feng Shui has traditionally been perceived as a very informal sort of business, and hence, people can be a little hesitant to ask questions. They are not sure if their questions may be perceived as insulting. Feng Shui has grown more modern as a profession, becoming more like any other service industry. So you should approach the business of getting a Feng Shui consultation or a Basi destiny analysis in the same way as you would approach any other profession like a doctor or lawyer or even an accountant. The subject of the matter is you seek the advice of your doctor or accountant when you wish to have a specific concern clarified, correct? Likewise, why not a Feng Shui consultant? To help you get started, here are some questions you should ask before you make a business decision to engage him or her. First important question is, how much do you charge? Gone are the days when you slip a Feng Shui Master a red packet with cash. Most Feng Shui consultants, by the way, do accept checks or credit cards these days. They go even online. During your initial inquiry, do not be shy about asking how much a consultation costs. A professional Feng Shui consultant will and should be upfront about his fees. You should also not be hesitant to ask why the fee is high or low for that matter. In general, you should expect fees to vary based on the size of the property in question. For example, a factory audit will cost more than a small office or a residential house, and also the complexity of the audit may also be a factor. Second question, what does your service include? A good Feng Shui consultant will usually check the client's Basi before embarking on recommendations for the property. But that does not mean that a thorough Basi consultation is part of the service. So, you should ask if a Basi consultation is included in the price or if it's separately charged. You should also ask if the price of the property audit includes date selection, specifically tailored to your Basi and your property, and not just a selection of generic dates using the Tongshu or the Chinese almanac. This is very important, especially if renovations will be required to improve or correct the Feng Shui of the property. Selecting a good date to undertake the renovation is essential to ensure that the Qi is properly activated. If the property in question is being built, you may want to ask if the consultant includes a selection date for moving in. Third question, what kind of Feng Shui do you practice? You should know what kind of methodology the consultant uses and be comfortable with his approach. Is he a classical Feng Shui consultant or more of a new age in his approach? If he is into classical, then he will probably be using a combination of the following techniques: San Yuan, San He, or Swan Kong. There are many different schools of Feng Shui. To mention a few, there's the Form School, the Compass School, the Flying Star, the Black Hat. Understanding more about these schools of Feng Shui will help you know which type of Feng Shui practice is favorable. Thus, before you hire a Feng Shui consultant, ask about which school is their specialty so you can decide whether their methodologies are a match with what you prefer. Please take note that like any other professions, whether it be a plumber, electrician, doctor, or lawyer, becoming a Feng Shui consultant requires knowledge of the subject matter. And just like any professions, they typically acquire those knowledge by going through schools. Usually, they have a master or teacher that has taught them a unique set of ways of practicing their profession. I am sharing this information because I occasionally hear about complaints and disappointments from someone who had consulted with a Feng Shui expert. In fact, some people can get so angry that they bring lawsuits against a Feng Shui consultant. Fourth question could be, will I be required to buy products? You should be on the lookout for conflicts of interest when the answer to this question is yes, and the consultant is a classical Feng Shui practitioner. When you are required to buy products or encouraged to buy products to place in various sectors of your home or office in order to improve the Qi, and these items are not included in the services, a conflict of interest is quite possible. Fifth question, Will there be a follow-up session or a report? You should also ask if the service and price includes follow-up sessions to discuss the audit and recommendations with a consultant or a member of his staff, and if you will be given a written report with recommendations. Now, if a consultant does not provide follow-up sessions or a written report, it does not mean you should not engage him or that he is any less professional. If you are comfortable with a less formal approach, that's fine. But what you don't want is to find out that you have to pay again just to get the report, or have a follow-up session to know how you should proceed after the property was audited. So beyond those questions, you should also be comfortable with the consultants you choose. Be comfortable with his level of professionalism, his technical background, the way he practices Feng Shui, and his personal style when he interacts with you as a client. Some Feng Shui consultants provide a lot of hand-holding and function partly like a personal therapist or a life coach. Others are more businesslike and straight to the point, and therefore less inclined towards hand-holding. Both can have your best interest at heart, but simply expresses it in a different way. Some people like a Feng Shui consultant who will answer their every questions, no matter how minor, trite, or pointless. Some people prefer a Feng Shui consultant who just gets on with it and straight to the point. Find one whom you think you can work with and are comfortable with to understand you as a client. You don't have to like your Feng Shui consultant as long as you are comfortable with what he does for you and how he goes about doing it. Pick a Feng Shui consultant with a personal style. Also, if you are comfortable with a new age Feng Shui and that is what you want, then go to a person with a good reputation in that field or who achieves results that you will be satisfied with. Likewise with classical Feng Shui or lineage. Now, if you feel age reflects experience, then by all means go with an older master. But do not just assume that the older the master is, the better. Make sure that he really has been practicing successfully that long and really does have the necessary knowledge. It's all a matter of bearing in mind that age and knowledge are two different factors altogether. Finally, if lineage carries a lot of weight with you, then you should do extensive legwork and make sure that your Feng Shui master's lineage is what he claims it to be. Usually, the lineage holders are the ones who have documented evidence of their history. In conclusion, don't depend on hearsay alone. Do your own background check. You're about to pay hard-earned money for the services of a professional, so you should and also want to make sure that this person lives up to that reputation and expectation. So start your research about this Feng Shui consultant. Best of luck!